Okay, I don't know why some people have not joined the call, but anyway, sure. So what we are doing today, honestly, I'm so tired. So what we are doing today is variables. That is variables in Kotlin. In any programming language, there's something called variables. In every programming language, actually, there's variable, and variable is something very simple and very important in any software whatsoever. There's need for variable, yeah. So you can see in this blah 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 before you begin. Okay, all these ones are just so what you build short program in Kotlin that use variable, how to define a variable and everything. So let's just move to the next thing, which is variable and data type. So in computer programming, there's concept of a variable, which is a container for a single piece of data. You can envision it as a box that contain a value. The box. So in short, don't let me use because all these big text might be confusing. So I will just use real life explanation to explain so it will be able to sink in. So variable in short is, as they also mention here, is like a container. If you go to all these ports, that is all these seaports, if you order something from China now, it will have to pass through that. What did they call this place sef? Like all these ports. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 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 you understand.
Yeah, all those ports. That is, there will be a lot of containers there. So now for that container,
Mm.
now for a container will have its name. A container will have probably ta, tb, tc, and so on and so forth like that. So that container itself can be a variable because what it stores amount of values. So variable basically is like a container which stores values. So you use a variable to store value. So anytime you need that value, you just call the container, or you just call the variable rather. So variable is like a container, and inside that container you can put in value. That is, you can put in data, any data whatsoever
Hello?
you want to. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So variable basically is
Are you
like,
there?
yes, can't you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So variable basically is like a container, just like I mentioned. So variable is to store value. So variable in short is like you want something to hold a value for you. So that's what variable does basically. So it holds a value for you. So in any way you want to use the value in your application, you can use that value. So that's what variable does basically.
Hello?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes, you can hear me. Hello,
Your voice is
Randy.
now very low.
What do you say?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now.
I mean, your voice is not very low. Is it because I hand off from the group voice chat?
Uh, wait.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but your voice is very low now. Is it because I hand off from the group chat?
No, there's no call on the group chat before now.
Wait, no, wait.
You can't hear me.
Wait, let me leave from it again.
Okay. Leave and join back. Hello, can you
Okay, I
hear me?
can hear you now.
Okay, okay, better. So, what I
Alright.
was trying to say, what I was, I'm coming on. What I was trying to say is that variable is like a container, and what it does basically is like it holds value. So a variable holds value for you to use anywhere in your app. So there's different examples here. I know you said you have gone through this stuff already, so you stop at the define. So I think you should be able to
Yeah.
relate to this. So why store the value in a box? Why store the value in a box and reference the box by its name when it can simply be used directly? So the problem is that when your code uses values directly in all the instructions, your program will only work for that specific case. Here's an analogy that can make it easier to understand why variable is useful. The following is a letter for someone that you recently met. Dear Lauren, it's it was sorry, it was great meeting you at the office today. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Have a nice day, blah blah blah. So you can see now, so this particular concept is trying to explain how variable works and what is the reason behind variable. So variable basically is to make your system work dynamically. So that's it. That is, it will help you. Like, if you are not using variable, your system will just be a static one. That is, the value won't be changed. So how we create variable now, let me open the playground. So variable basically is for you to be able to have dynamic, what is it called, dynamic value that you can use, just like this email template, the that was given to us as an example here. You can say, dear Lauren, it was great meeting you at the office today. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Have a nice day. So you can also see the same format. So this format now, this dash, you can create a variable for probably letter 2, and it was great meeting you today at place. I look forward to seeing you on another time. So if you create a variable and you put somewhere here, you create another variable, you put uh what is it called, at the coffee station, then I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday. So you can create 3 different variable that you hold this value. So those value now can be changed anytime depending on how best fits your project. So you can basically change those variables, so it will automatically change. Instead of adding me, you just write a text like this one is forever, it's just static. But if you have a variable that holds the value of this name, holds the value of this place, and holds the value of this what's it called, time, like another time, then you can change it to any other value you want. So that's how variable work basically. Yeah. So I'm going to, let me show you an example. So these are an example now. So I'm going to create a variable. So in Kotlin, for you to create a variable, let me check actually because I'm not used to Kotlin. So for you to create a variable in Kotlin, yeah, we are still going to get to all this. Okay, let me just try it out. For you to create a variable in Kotlin, just write var name is equal to somewhere like this. So let me now print name. Let me run this. So you can now see this is a variable. You can see this guy already holds the value of someone. So this var simply means the keyword variable, just like this fun holds the keyword of function. So var also holds the keyword of variable. Then name is the name of the variable, just like the name of this function. Then this equal to simply means assignment operator, that is, you are assigning a value to a particular variable name. So that's it. So I can say somewhere. Okay, so now let me change the text to my name is. You can see now inside this my name is, I didn't write the my name is directly. I just write my name is, then I reference the value inside this variable. And how do you reference a value inside a variable? You use the word $sign and the name of that variable. The name of this variable now is name. If I change this one to my name like this now, this one I have to change this one also to my name, because what, this is the variable name. Adding I just use something else, this guy is going to throw an error because there's nothing like my name here, so you cannot find it. So you are going to see the error now. So you can see unresolved reference my name, so it does not have anything called this particular stuff. So that's why the program throws error. But if I put e now and I run the program again, you see it will say my name is Samuel. You can see my name is Samuel. If I change the value of this variable now to Randy, you will see it will also change, my name is Randy. So this basically means I don't need to come here.
Nadi.
Yeah, sorry, that's I don't give you another name be that. So
There's something I want to say.
okay.
According to the code lab, that VA R is VAL, right?
No, it's VAR.
Meaning value.
Yeah. No,
Is
no,
it
no.
different?
This VAR now, this is the variable, this is the keyword variable. This guy here now, this is the variable name. Then this guy is the value. Value simply means the value you are giving that variable. That is just like in a container, what you want to put inside the container. So the stuff you want to put inside the container is a value. So the value you want to give this particular variable is randy. So we can say randy is the value of this my name variable. So that's just it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it. So and I came here and I come here now and I put my name is hashtag or dollar sign then my name. The reason for this dollar sign is because we are already inside a quotation mark. So let me I remove this dollar sign now. This our print we see this my name as just like a text. It won't see it as a variable that you have declared. Let's put that in the text. So if I run it now, you will see that it will just write my name is my name. uh,
Mm.
this one is still loading. You can see now my name is my name. That's because
Mm.
we are already inside this quotation and anything inside a quotation mark is declared as a string. So you see everything as a text, that is you are just writing a text. But assuming you have a variable that you have declared somewhere and you want to reference that variable inside a text or inside a quotation mark, then you have to put dollar sign in front of that variable name. So just put dollar sign like this, then the variable name, then you are good to go. So if I click on play now, it will put my name is Randy. So you can see now. So and let me continue and I um let me just put age now. Age, years old. Do you know we are here to create a variable for age? You know, right?
Yeah.
So we are here to
Yeah.
create a variable for an age. If I click on play now, it will throw there is no reference for age. You see now. So there is no reference for age. So now I can now create age like this. Age is equal to 34. So if I click on run, you see my name is Randy and I am 34 years old. So you can see the difference here. Now you can see, we can know that okay, this one is a variable, this one also is a variable. So because they hold dynamic value, so I can come here and just change the value and it's going to change in my response as well. So that's what variable simply stands for. So it holds some values that can be changed anytime you want. So that's what variable is. So now as they cited inside this example, so for this example now, you can actually probably you are sending a mail to like 200 people with different name. So you can just put, you might have created a variable that holds all of their names. So what you just reference here will be the variable name, not the people exact name, because what you are sending the mail dynamically, so it can just pick that person's name and send the mail and also the time and also the other information. So that's what variable basically is. So the next thing now, conceptually building an app is similar. You have a placeholder for some data while other part of the app stay the same way. So you can see now, like in any app you open now, you see welcome, or you shall see your profile. On your profile now you see your name. So how they were able to do that is because all of your information is stored inside a particular container, inside a particular database, and whenever anybody is requesting for your information, it will be passed from a variable, that is from a response time, for you to be able to see it. So all this stuff you are seeing here now, that is welcome, this name now, that's a variable, that is your name is stored inside a variable, and so on and so forth. So this is like this is like sorry, okay, so this is like the behind the scene of all this application we are seeing. So all the application, even for this particular website itself, all this stuff they are all okay, all these text now might just can just be text because they are not changing. But if I log in now, when it shows my name, the name is stored inside somewhere, and those how it was outputted to the outside person or to the end user is via variable and everything. So that's that. So the next thing now, example app with variable. So these are an example. Let's look at an app example to see where it may use variable. So this is an app now, and where it may use variable. So where this app can use variable is name of location, that is this Google Plex, because what this name now is not, they did not store this name inside the code, it's stored inside the database, and they will be using variable for that. Star rating, this particular star rating, because star rating, it depends on how many rating the what's it called, the users have given the platform or something. So that's the purpose of this star rating. So it's not like a static data, it's a dynamic one. Number of review, this is number of review, and address of location, and every of this information actually, they are just trying to tell us like how variable actually works. So now, as I said, variable simply is to store data. So just put it that way, variable is to store data, and that's it. So any kind of data or any kind of value, just use variable is to store value. So any kind of value you want to store, just use variable for it. So now the next thing that we now have is data type. So how does data type work? Now, so the same way we have some generator that use petrol and some diesel, and some that use diesel, the same way we have do you know that there are some people that are allergic to some certain food, and or that if they eat something they might fall sick and all those stuff. So the same way we have some stuff that some some of the variables are allergic to. So there's a way that you can declare a data type, that is what a value must accept. So data type, when you decide what aspect of your app can be variable, it is important to specify what type of data can be stored in those variables. In Kotlin, there are some common basic data type. The table below shows a different data type in each of each data type. There is a description of blah, blah, blah. So this data type now is basically what the value can accept. So now if you notice in this our playground now, I just create var and I put age and I put 30. So this particular 30, this is a number, this is a number, this is a string. So now if I want to say, okay, I want to create a variable, let me say string now, string, then I will say school, then I will put OUI.
Are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, are you seeing my screen? Oh jeez, you are seeing my screen, right?
Yeah. But it's not on the playground.
What do you say?
Yeah, I'm seeing it now.
Okay, so this stuff has cleared away. Yeah, so in variable now we have different data type, and different data type simply means for each variable you are creating, you can define the kind of value you want to accept. Like it's just like when you are arranging your kitchen now, you know there's some place that you are going to put plate, there's some place that you are going to put the spoon and everything like that. So that's what this stuff is, so you can arrange your stuff very well. So we have string, the first data type we have is string. So string can only accept text. And how does string accept text? So anything that is inside, so for you to create a string, you know, if you want to create a variable, you just write var, then the variable name like this, and let's say gd like that. So for string now, you just write string like this, string, then the variable name. So this string now, this is a data type, then the variable name, let me say my contact like this, then I'll say la 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 la. So this particular guy now is a string, and it can only accept text. How can you only accept text? You know what I put inside this guide now is actually a number. It's not like a literal alphabetical word. So it's a number. So if I reference this my contacts now, it's going to print out this stuff. Let's see. Expected a top
Wow.
lower declaration. Okay, I'm coming now. A top lower declaration. I think I'm coming now. Kotlin have a special way of doing their own stuff, of creating a variable. Let me just check. Man,
I think that number not supposed to be number, right?
yeah, it can actually be number as far as you put it inside quotation. Okay, I don't really understand what these people are saying. Okay, I'm actually using my knowledge in that to try it out if it's almost the same thing, but I can see now that it's not the same
Is
thing.
that can you change that VAR to VAL? Let me see what the
VL.
yeah to VAL.
Okay. So VL too, yeah, it works as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So now for this string, probably once you get to the example, they are going to explain it or they are going to show us how to create a variable. But in essence, we have string, we have integer, which is represented by int. So that is integer number. You can see the example here. So this one is inside quotation, this one is just a raw number. Then we have double, which is decimal number. Then you can use double to store like amount or price or whatever, kilometer and all those stuff. We have float. Float now can store decimal number that is less precise than a double. So like a negative double sha, like minus and all those stuff. Then we have boolean. Boolean is either true or false. Use this data type when there's only two possible values. Note that true and false are keywords in Kotlin, so true or false. So boolean simply is only necessary when you only have like two major what they call two stuff in your Kotlin, that is true or false. Yeah. So for the valid range for numeric data type int, double and float, see num. Okay. So now this theory, now this int, double and float, they are under numbers because what they all accept numeric figure. That's what they accept basically. But they are different in a way that this integer now can only accept a whole number. That's it. It cannot accept a decimal number. If you put a decimal number, it will throw error for you. Double can accept decimal number and also a whole number, so it can accept both decimal and whole number. While float is decimal number that is less precise than a double. I don't really understand that anyways, but that is what it is here. So now that you are aware of some of the economy, which data type are you? Okay, so this is just like a small exercise. So almost all the data types here are string, but the star rating, this is double because what it has 4.2, and the number of reviews, which is 10,000 plus, will be integer. They're just trying to check. They're just trying to check. They're just trying to check like your understanding about the whole concept here. So that is what this one is all about. Yeah. So now another thing. Okay, so let's just move from here. Let's move to the next stuff. So define a and use variable. So define versus use a variable. So we are going to do that shortly. So I will skip this talk part. So you can now see, oh, so they use var. That's why you are saying f
Yeah, yeah,
var.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
Because
have.
I was actually confused when you're using val, you're using var.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Now the reason why this var now is when you are using a data type. So now VAL or VAR like this, you can actually use it straight. But when you want to use a data type, like you want to declare a data type as string or integer, now you have to use VAL, then let's say age, then int is equal to. So you can see now that it prints the number. So now this int here is we telling this particular guy that it should only print integer number. If I put quotation mark here now, here I put quotation mark now, it's going to throw an error because what? It's this value has already turned to a text, and text is only for string, not for integer. And since we already declared that this value can only accept integer, this is a false value. That is, this is like a poison to this particular variable. So if I click on play now, you're going to see the error. So you can see the error that is type mismatch. In, in fact, type is string but into what expected. So you can see where the issue is coming from. So you can see that, yeah. So that is the difference between all these data types. So this is for int. You can see var count. So this var now, like I'm coming. So that's okay, sorry. So var, then this count now, this is the variable name. So your variable name can be any name whatsoever. Then this integer now, this is the data type you want to assign to that value. Then this equal to is the assignment operator, and this two is the value. So you can change this two to any value you want whatsoever. So that is that. And another thing now is, so you can see the stuff explained here. So this var now, this is just a static stuff. Then the count, that's his variable name. The int, that's data type. Then this two is the initial value, yeah. So that is how it works. So the other stuff now, so they are just trying to explain all this stuff over and over again. So to use another variable now, okay, so for this example they have here, you can see they are trying to print, you have count, you have two counts on read message. So this is a small exercise now. They are trying to tell us that you have two on read message. So now they actually put here that you have count on read message, but this variable name here is also count. But why is this one not showing us you have two on read message here, Randy? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you. This is like
Okay,
a
okay.
small, this is like a small exercise now. They put here that
Yeah.
var count int 2, and they print you have count on read message, and this is the output you want to get. But they put count here. So why is it not referencing this particular variable count here? Since they put you have count on read message, why is it not referencing it? Hello, can you hear me?
Right.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you too now. Do you get the question I
Okay.
asked?
Yes. I mean, the answer is not having a dollar behind the count.
A
It's not
what?
having the that dollar this thing now, dollar beside the count,
Yeah, so that's
right?
why, yes. So that's why it's not showing for this stuff. So it's not, I don't mean the person puts dollars and here now. It's going to write
Mm,
you have to on read account, but because this one is just like a normal text, it's just saying you have count on read message. So that is it. So you can
yeah.
see also here now they explain it. So string content, dollars and variable name, rest of the string. So you can see the same thing that they played out here. So that is just the explanation to that. Yeah, so that is it basically. So I think so that's majorly it for variables or like for how to define the variable. Yeah, so you can still perform a lot of stuff inside variable. So you can see now that the person puts var on read count which is 5, then var read count which is 100. So this guy is trying to say you have on read count plus read count total messages in your in your inbox. So this guy now inside this guy, the reason why there's, in a normal stuff you don't need to put this curly brackets. You are just referencing, for example, you are just referencing this on read count, you just put dollar sign then on read count. But since we want to actually use two variables, because this is variable 1, this is variable 2 now, we want to use two variables. That's why we have this curly bracket in order to encompasses the two variables. That is, it should stand like like a block, like it is like a fence, so it won't be recognized like a text. So that's the reason behind like using those two curly brackets. Yeah, yeah, so that's it. I hope you get that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so
the
that's
answer
why the person just put
very
on
well.
read count plus read count, because this one is a number, this one also is a number, or integer and integer. So the person just plus it together inside the string. Then 100 plus 5, that is 105. That's why you have 105 total messages in your inbox. So this is how it plays out basically. Yeah, that is on read count.
Why they never added the database the data type?
What do you say?
I mean, they didn't add the data type.
Yeah, now the reason behind adding data type and not adding data type, now for some values you might not need to actually add data type, because the stuff can, you can send any value to it. So the reason behind adding data type basically is assuming you don't want that value to accept any other stuff aside the data type. That is, you want to make it compulsory that this is the only data type this variable should accept. Then that's why you can, that's when you should actually put data type. But when you want to accept any data, that is any data whatsoever, either string, integer, boolean, double and so on, you don't need to put the data type here, and that's what they did here. So they can come here and change this one to a string later, and also that's the reason behind that. Yeah, so yeah, so that's it basically. So another expression, this is another expression, blah blah blah. So they're just trying to explain this one sha. Okay, so you can see all this other example. So I will actually like that you can practice all this example on the playground, so it will be easy for you to actually understand. So you can try it out and also rewrite it in your own way. Are you with your laptop?
Yeah, yeah.
So if you can just open it, try this stuff out, so you can see number of pictures, photos, that is 100 photos deleted, this is 10, photos deleted, number of photo deleted minus number of photos left. So you can see this is a small arithmetic operation here now. So and everything is performed inside a string, that is inside a it's inside a quotation mark here. So that's it on
Okay.
how to declare and use a variable. So now how do we now update a variable? That is, I've declared this variable now. I want to update this value to 120 and I don't want to become here to be updating it to 120. So how do we update it? Yeah, so that's what we want to learn here now. So for example now, you already declare cart total as 0. So for example, you are using a Jumia app where you get to add to your cart and all those stuff, and by default your cart is on 0. So anytime you add to your cart now, it should increase, and that's another format. So it will increase by you updating that particular variable, because by default now you are going to create a variable that holds the value of the default. Is that uh, Christopher? Hello, Christopher, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Now still you are still the same person.
No,
Sorry, we okay. You are not Christopher, right? That is the person that just joined.
no, I'm not. No, I'm here now.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can see Randy. That is this your account, and then another account, Godfrey Christopher. Is that you?
Oh no, that's not me. That's not me.
Okay, Christopher, please, can you hear me? I'm not sure if you can hear me or not, but I'll just continue. Time is going. We only have like few minutes left, and I want us to finish this chapter so you guys can continue. We only have like 12 minutes left now. So this is the value now. So for example, you have your empty cart, then you want to update the cart now. So you just call the variable name, then you assign a new value to it, and that's basically how to update a variable. So you can see the same example here.
I don't get. That's too fast.
Okay, like for example now, this variable number photos now is 100. So I want to update this number photos from 100 to another value. I will just call the number photos, then equal to, let me just put 50 now. Do you know this one, the first value now is 100, but once it comes here, you see like, okay, number photos is now, number of photo is now 50. It's going to change this value from 100 to 50 now. And mind you, this is not like you are declaring a new variable, because if you want to declare a new variable, you have to actually put this var. If you put this var and if is equal to stuff like this, it's going to throw error. Why? Because this variable name has already been declared. That is, this number of 40 already exists in this program. So it's going to throw an error. If I run it now, you see that it's going to throw an error. That is, number of photo already declared. You can see conflicting declaration. Yeah, so that is a conflict because it's already declared. But if I remove this var, so removing the var simply means I'm calling this variable name. So once I call the variable name now, then I assign a new value to it. So I just assign 50, so I can put equal to. So you can see the number of 50, it will show. Okay, it says var cannot be reassigned. So for you to reassign, you have to use var instead. So VL cannot be reassigned, but VAR can be reassigned. So if I click OK now, okay, so this call is going to end in 15 minutes. So if I click OK now, so you can see now number of 4 to 50. You can see now that it has updated. It has ignored this particular initial value, which is 100, because what, I've already updated the value to 50 here. And how do you update a variable? You just call the variable name again, then you assign a new value to it. That's basically it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can actually practice it. Once you are practicing it, will be, you will get used to it. Yeah, so that's how it works actually, because you might not really get it now. Yeah, so all this stuff are also explaining how this stuff is. Yeah, so this, they are all explaining how to update a variable. Yeah, so I don't want to go into all this actually, but the basic understanding is for you to know that for you to update any value, just call that variable again, that is the variable name, then the value you want to update with, and that's basically it. Yeah, I'm seriously tired this evening, so I will actually just next. So but you can come back and read through that stuff. So the next thing now is explore that data type. So as I mentioned, we have different data type: the string, the integer, the double, the boolean. So this what's it called, this particular aspect want to explore like other data type like string, like boolean and others. So now this is for double. Imagine you are navigating to a destination and your trip is split into three parts, a separate part, because you need to make stop along the way. So you can see now trip one, or trip one, trip two, trip three. So your trip one has 3.20 kilometer and all those stuff and blah blah blah. Then the total trip is now 0.0. So you can now print total trip miles left to the destination. So this guy is going to print 0.0 miles left to destination. But once you start your trip now from trip point, you write 3.20 left for destination, 4.10 miles left to destination, and all sorts. So that's it. Okay, so that's it actually. So explain other data types. Basically, it's like we checking how this other data type works. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same thing, but like how do they work? How can you assign a new value to it, and how can you actually use it? So that's what this is actually talking about. Um, okay, this is for boolean as well. So you can see var notification is enabled, boolean is equal to true. So if you print notification is enabled, it's just going to print true. Yeah. Oh god, I'm sure like you might not really understand what I'm saying, but even me myself, I'm honestly tired. My my head is not itself. I've been back to back meetings since morning. Everything is just so
Mm.
tired. Yeah. So, but I just hope you, at least you are getting some stuff. So if you are not getting it, just come back to this stuff. Try all the example they mention here. All this stuff is actually explanatory. So just come back to it and try most of this stuff, because we're actually going to need it when you want to start building the application itself. Yeah. So that's it for exploring. So coding convention now. So coding convention, for you to be able to write it very well, here's a couple of other formatting and coding, blah blah blah. So all this one is just like the coding convention behind everything. So for you to create a variable, so you write val or var, so either of the two, then the variable name, then you use the double column, then the data type. The data type are string, integer, double and boolean for Kotlin. Then the value you want to assign to it, it will be equal to the value. So this equal to now is not equal to in programming. It's called assignment operator. So we have equal to also, but equal to will be double this equal to sign. So instead of the normal single equal to for equal to, it simply means assignment operator, and that assignment operator simply means you are assigning a value to a variable. Yeah, so that's it. So now the next one is varpet blah blah blah. So this one they're just trying to tell you how to write the code actually. Yeah, so that's it, nothing too serious about this. Then the next one is commenting in your code. So in programming there's always a comment. So that is, in all programming rather, programming or framework or whatever you call it, there is something called commenting. And commenting simply means commenting can be used for documentation and can be used for like probably you are working in a project and you want to document a particular feature of the project in your code, that probably once you come back to it, it will help you to actually understand it better, or help you to actually remember what you have learned so far and all those stuff. Yeah, so that's what comment is for. And also probably you want to comment a particular set of code, so the program won't see it, or so that the program will actually run that particular code. Then that's when comment is. So you can see, when coding, another good practice to follow is to add comments that describe what the code is intended to do. Comments can help people who read your code follow it more easily. Two forward slash symbol, or yeah, two forward slash symbol indicate that the text after it on the rest of the line is considered a comment. So once you put this two forward slash, anything after it is considered a comment, and anything that is considered a comment, the program won't run it. That is, your Kotlin program won't run the stuff. It will just jump over it. It's just like it will pass over it. Yeah. So anything that have this double forward slash, that is anything in front of it, it will just be ignored. The system will see it as a comment, that is, it's just for your own personal consumption. So that's what they are trying to explain here. So it isn't interpreted as code. It is common practice to add a separate, to add a space after the two forward slash. Yeah, yeah, so all those stuff. So then we have, in commenting we have three type of commenting. We have single line comment, which is this is a single line comment. We have multiple line comment. This is multiple line comment. So with this, you can actually comment more than one line, because with this forward slash now, you can only comment this line. If you move to the next line is not commented. The next line is a new script on its own. But for this multi-line, once you click enter inside of this guy, everything is commented together. Yeah, so that's multi-line. Then in other programming, we have documentation comments, but I'm not sure if Kotlin have something like that or not. Yeah, but that is it about variables. So in conclusion, you can actually check through this conclusion. I know that we are here to actually start the technical part. So this, yeah, so we are here to actually start the technical part. So that's because we have to actually, this is like the introduction to programming language in Kotlin. So that's why we are still going through all this stuff step by step. But once we move to, let me check, once we move to building your first Android now, then we, so once you move to this setup Android Studio, build a basic layout. Now this is where the real coding is then, and this is where we will be start, this is where we are going to start building Android application and everything. But the reason for this introduction is just to build up your foundation, so you will know what we are actually doing. So that's all about variable. The next thing now is functions. So functions as well, we have already touched it, but we are still going to touch it a little bit, but that won't be tonight. Yeah, that will be next week. But I will love actually if you can actually go through comment or function yourself. You can see how to define a comment and all those stuff. Comments is actually easy. I think I've actually explained it before. I've actually explained all this stuff before, but this one is just more explained and it has more examples. So if you can go through this stuff before the next class, which is on Tuesday, it will be more helpful. And even if you can actually finish everything here, practice problem Kotlin basic. So if you can finish everything here before the next class, so the reason for that is because for us to actually be able to move fast, so we can just go through the next thing directly and not be wasting time on some little topics. Yeah, so that is it basically. So do you have any question for me? Do you have any question for me, or some area that you don't understand? So let me see if I can explain. Randy, are you there? Randy, are you on this call? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I was asking, like, do you have any question for me? Do you get the part where I asked you to go and learn on your own?
Yes. But I have questions, but I would.
Eh?
Yeah. I have questions, but I want to gather them at once. I don't want my access to perform at
On
once.
the, your, I think the network is breaking. I didn't really get what to say, Cha.
I will. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think I can hear you a little bit clearer.
I have questions, but I wouldn't want to ask. I'd be asking the one I want. I want to gather them and I want to ask you.
Okay, okay, cool. Then so you can ask. So please go through this function. Just try to go through it and make sure you go through it. If you have any questions, just ask me. Then I will respond. Then in our next class, we move to the next stuff on our list. Yeah. So that will be all for this night. So thank you for actually joining the call. I really appreciate. I trust probably it will be better when we start our physical class. So it will be actually more profound and people will be able to get everything we are seeing. Yeah. So
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah, so that will be all for this night. So